the triumphs of Black entrepreneurs, leaders, and advocates. Tonight, commemorating those carving their own legacies and forging a path for those who follow.
So I get a lot of my inspiration from Black people, period. You know, that is what I know. That is something that nobody can tell me about.
What was once celebrated for a week is now a month to recognize accomplishments.
Especially, I think it's a testament to the values and the ideals that our founders had.
With an anything is possible mindset and a strong foundation for building community.
The community connection always gonna happen in the barbershop.
Tonight, CNY Central celebrates Black History Month, the hidden gems of Central New York. Tonight, we're looking back on Black History Month and taking a look at the hidden gems in our community. Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Lagarde.
I'm Michael Benny. This used to be celebrated for 1 week, but since 1976, it's been a month. And in Central New York, Black history is everywhere.
And Auburn is the home of Harriet Tubman, where she found her haven, her community, and her family's home in freedom.
In Syracuse's Clinton Square downtown stands the Jerry Rescue Monument. This recognizes and celebrates the October 1st, 1851 rescue of William Jerry Henry, an escaped slave from Missouri. Syracuse was an active center for the abolitionist movement.
In Ithaca at Cornell University, the first Black fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, was started in 1906. Tonight, we share their story. In the fall of 2021, a then first year, Jerron Johnson proudly walked onto Cornell's campus with his main goal to achieve a great education on the road to becoming a doctor. What he didn't expect was joining a fraternity, and not just any fraternity, a legacy, Alpha Phi Alpha, even becoming the president.
Just their presence and aura whenever they stepped into a room, and that was something I wanted to emulate.
Cornell University was one of the first institutions to open its doors to Black Americans. In 1894, the first African American student graduated. 12 years later, what first started as a social study club turned into Alpha Phi Alpha, created on December 4th, 1906, the same period as the Jim Crow era, which enforced the segregation of people of color. 7 of the founders recognized the need for a strong bond of brotherhood among African descendants in this country. Johnson saying those values still hold today.
There was that need, there was that feeling that we need, the only way that we can be seen is if we unite.
What started as one Black Greek organization grew into the Divine Nine.
I think it's a testament to the values and the ideals that our founders had. Despite our letter differences, you know, we're all here for basically the same reason. 1, pursue an education, and 2, enter the professional world, and 3, being able to give back to our communities.
Carrying on traditions is an important part of Greek life, especially your strolling, a representation of the bond that ties together members of an organization.
I've been practicing for a bit, you know, I wanted my time to shine, and you know, at that time I was pretty bad, but I felt like I was good.
Johnson is no longer the president, but he did shine during his time, making great connections, achievements, and brothers. He says being part of the fraternity has some big shoes to fill, but hasn't looked back since.
I want to just follow that legacy of doing the same thing for whoever's to come in the future, you know.
And you know, Michael, what's so incredible about this fraternity is just the legacy. And talking to this young man, it was just incredible hearing what he wants to do in the future, but always looking back and knowing that his brothers had his back, have his back, and that wherever he goes, he's always going to have that.
That connection
in
history.
It's incredible.
Wow. Laura, thank you for that. No celebration of Black history would be complete without a focus on Black barbershops. It was during the atrocities of slavery, Black barbers were first introduced to America. Back then, the clients were white men. Over the years, they have become critical neighborhood anchors in communities all over the country. Tonight, we visit a shop on the north side of Syracuse where the owner is building relationships one cut at a time. If you're ever in David Moore's chair at The Lab, the barbershop he owns on Pond Street in Syracuse, ask him about the man on the medallion he wears, his late grandfather, Otis Blue.
The respect that he got from the people, I had never seen that from a person what wasn't like selling drugs or hustling or doing anything like that. So he got the respect of a street guy, but he was a church-going businessman.
His grandfather was a pioneer in black-owned business in Syracuse, owner of the Blues Brothers Barbershop. His obituary called it an iconic yet safe and secure place where men could gather and discuss issues concerning the betterment of themselves and the Syracuse community.
The community connection always gonna happen in the barbershop, because in some places, sometimes in the barbershop, people would talk would never even speak to each other in the real world. So when you come to a barbershop, you might be a dentist. This dude probably just got out of jail. This dude probably just graduated from high school. This dude probably on his way to college. When you bring all these people here, they can sit down and have a conversation.
Today, David's business is a nod to his grandfather in every way imaginable, even the name. The lab stands for Legacy and Blues Brothers.
It's for him actually having the oldest black business in the city of Syracuse.
He says what makes a barbershop special isn't necessarily a great cut. It's what happens when the place is buzzing, the conversations are flowing, and young people in the shop are listening and noticing.
You can get like, this guy might have a great work ethic, or this guy might be a great businessman, this guy might be a ladies' man, this guy might be good with money, and you can sit around all those different people and just try to take all the goodness out of them to just make up what you think is the best version of yourself through these people, because you didn't have role models growing up.
How proud Otis Blue would be to see his grandson today, successful in barbering for sure, but also in those ways he noticed about his grandfather when he was a child, a success at connecting with people.
I feel like the industry, the beauty industry, the experience that we have is second to none, because you're meeting so many different people with so many different backgrounds, but at the end of the day, we're all the same.
Such wise words. At the end of the day, we're all the same. David's working on a line of lab products, aftershave, beard butter, and a lotion. All of it made the way his grandfather and other black barbers in Syracuse were doing it 60 years ago.
Oh, we love that.
We love that. Coming up on NBC3 News at 7, turning experiences from his own life into works of art. Artist Jaleel Campbell is making a name for himself and inspiring others.
Also ahead, breaking into an industry that wouldn't accept her. From Syracuse and around the world, then back home again with wine.
Welcome back to Black History Month, the hidden gems of Central New York. You're about to meet a baker whose desserts get rave reviews.
Sharita Simple owns Trita Treats Bake Shop. She may not have always been a baker, but she knew she had talent. Often at parties, she would provide treats and people just couldn't get enough. She had a gift to make people smile with her sweets. So she decided to quit her job as a nurse assistant and pursue her baking career.
Not only did I leave my stability, I took a leap of faith to just do this. Baking has always been in my family. My aunt is a baker, my grandmother baked.
Simple is grateful to the community for supporting her business, but wanted the community to support all local bakers. That's why she joined together with Interfaith Works to create the Syracuse Bakers Expo. It takes place March 21st at the Marriott Syracuse downtown. And boy, were those treats good too, Michael.
That's a great assignment.
Right? Now, much like food, art has always been a form of self-expression, a creative way to preserve history and connect cultures.
And whether it's illustration or embroidery, every creation by Syracuse native Jaleel Campbell is inspired by his lived experience. At 3 years old, he spray painted his parents' garage. He grew up playing with dolls and created their clothing and hairstyles. Years later, that blossomed into his own exhibit at the Everson Museum in Syracuse. Artwork that was featured on VH1 and collaborations with the godmother of soul, Miss Patti LaBelle.
Every day is just like, I wonder what's gonna happen next. And it's the best feeling in the world to know that my artwork has such an impact when people see it. And with my new body of work, I am super excited to not only be producing new illustrations, but to shake the table.
Campbell hopes his work will inspire other young people in Syracuse to pursue their passions too. Fashion has always been a form of expression for the Black community.
Two Black business owners, Mike Golden and Byron Cage, created the Higher Calling store in Syracuse. It's a mission-based clothing brand to break the stigma around cannabis and promote social equity in the Black community. Both men come from a background in music, which has always had a far-reaching impact on Black culture and fashion, finding a style of clothing that everyone can enjoy wearing.
We are masters of making something out of nothing. Like, if you look at the origins of hip hop and what it's done, you know, for culture, for fashion, everything, for the start from just a DJ basically looping a break and someone getting on the mic and telling people how cool the DJ is. That's how simple.
Now, in just a few months, Golden and Cage will open the second cannabis dispensary in Syracuse's downtown area. They'll be the first African Americans to do so in Onondaga County.
As we continue tonight, a focus on a topic that's so important, but many don't really know how to talk about.
Just ahead, mental health in the Black community. One mother sharing the story of losing her daughter, hoping it might save someone in your family.